spent, hours and hours and hours, months, years pouring through Tolkien's back catalogue of work, which is so vast. For me, it's going back to my character, to Hal. The real thing about making it connect to me was it's taking it from the page and from your research and making it into a physical thing.
Did you get to spend much time actually in New Zealand? For example, did you get to do the Tongariro crossing, which as a, Lord of the Rings fan was my, passage.
Cool, right.
Yeah, I loved it.
I did the Northern Circuit, which is where you do the crossing and then you do a couple other days going around. That was very cool. That was very nerdy.
That's the hardcore answer. I like that.
Yeah.
You can't top that though, can you?
I didn't do that.
Did I invite you?
I was too busy.
I was too busy not doing that. So that's what happened.
No, this was a solo trip.
It's just for me.
Going Aragon.
Oh yeah, you sleep with a saw by your side, don't you?
Yeah, in the scabbard.
In the scabby scabbard.
In the scabs.
Is there one that you're really good at?
One dialect? There's one that I've developed and I've gotten a good grip on, but I don't want to say it yet because you'll probably hear it in the show.
Listen, everybody just make sure to watch and hear him do a little. I'm gonna guess Elvish. I don't know. You spend so much time with Galadriel, you kind of have to, right? You've got to be able to communicate.
Yeah. I guess there's lots. She's a master at lots of different languages, actually. So I could have picked up a lot from her. Yeah.
Where do we find him when we first meet him? What's his kind of challenge or hurdle throughout season 1?
We meet him on the Sundering Seas in the middle of the ocean. He's leaving behind a part of his past and he's moving forward to a new life. He's kind of at a crossroads. So I think that's his challenge, is to be able to commit to that new life. And we see that there's some obstacles that emerge as the show progresses,
As I was talking to the creators, they were saying we have 5 seasons mapped out. Do you know all the secrets? Do they sit down and say, here's everything that's going to happen with your character? Or are you do you not know?
I wish I knew all the secrets. I know some of the secrets. I hope I know more than most. I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But no, by all means, I do not know. So I feel the same as a lot of other people. That's the thing. People watching the show that don't know anything. I'm creating that, and characters that there's a lot of similarities between Halbrand and Aragorn or Boromir or Beren or Turin, these other human characters in the lore. And I think it was really exciting. It was a really exciting thing to develop with the dialect and movement teams. Yeah.
I heard that you guys did some bonding things like bungee jumping and zip lining to come together as a cast.
Well, I didn't do bungee jumping or zip lining. Did you?
I wish I did bungee jumping. We played a lot of Fortnite.
Yeah, we played Fortnite, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at it. I'm not good at it.
How did you guys prepare for your character? Was there a dialect coach or a physical training?
Yeah, there was both. Both Leith and Lara, our dialect and movement coaches respectively, were amazing, and I credit them with a huge amount of the work that I was able to do through developing the character. You work from the scripts obviously, but then you have the beauty of being part of something like this is you have endless amounts of source material to read, which I had a good crack at. But there's so much there that you could read forever and never learn it all. But I'll try. Yeah. And I'd say the simplicity of some of the things in such a vast production and such a vast world, the simplicity of some of the processes. There were parts when we were on the raft and there would be occasions when we'd have huge wind machines and wave machines going, and other times when it would just be guys with buckets of water throwing the water at us because the wind machines make too much noise.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the opposite. I'm going to say the last episode, the 8th episode. But I'm not going to say why. So I'm going to leave a few details, unexplored. I'd say mine is in the Fellowship when the hobbits have just left the Shire and they're being chased by the ringwraiths and they're hiding under the road, under that where the roots are of the tree.
So scary.
And I was quite young when I first watched that, and I found that a bit terrifying and it's always lingered with me.
Actually, though, it's not necessarily favourite, but probably one that's had the biggest effect on me is that I can't eat a cherry tomato without thinking of Denethor.
Denethor eating the tomatoes. The singing.
Yeah.
We did a lot of stunt training and fight training, which all bled into
Yeah.
the work we do on the raft. I will say, actually, Mordveth was much more balanced than me on the raft. There was a lot of, on the waves, I'd fall over quite a lot and fall through the cracks in the
But
raft.
neither of us ever actually fell off.
No,
which I can't
actually,
believe.
yeah,
Like,
touch wood.
Yeah.
Not that we're going back on it.
yeah.
What can you actually tease about the relationship between your two characters in that sequence?
I think it's two people who meet so by chance.
Yeah.
And like Gladriel is a legend of Middle Earth, even though she's got thousands of years left to live and she's already legendary. And Hal is incredibly normal.
It's just a dude.
Yeah.
Just a Middle Earth dude.
Like their meeting shouldn't
Yeah.
have happened.
But I think when they meet, from Hal's perspective, he knows there's something special about Galadriel. And I won't divulge if he knows exactly who she is. I have a decision on that, but I think it's best left ambiguous. But yeah, I think from his perspective, she brings out some things in him and illuminates some things in his mind that he hasn't necessarily considered. Things about his own life and his own past as they get to know each other a bit more. But certainly when they first meet, I think he's quite standoffish and distrusting of her. And there are certainly dangers in the Sundering Seas. So they're tested physically and mentally. I think at that point in the story for Hal, certainly, and I think for Galadriel, is that it's a moment of survival. They have to survive.
Yeah.
And they end up using each other to survive. For Hal, he's at a point in his life where he is moving forward. He's leaving whatever's come in his past behind, and he's saying, I'm starting afresh.
You call him Hal, and it really does resemble a certain Shakespearean character.
Exactly.
And the transformation.
I've thought about that a few times, actually, when I call him Hal. I've been calling him Hal all the time, but then
Yeah,
I
you
realized,
have.
does he ever get called Hal in the show? I don't think
I never
so.
call him
It's just
Hal.
a little pet name
Hey,
that I have
Hal.
for him. But yeah, as it unfolds, I think what Galadriel represents for him is like a second chance almost, a new start, but inadvertently their relationship, she sort of starts to pull him back towards things in his past which he might not be willing to revisit. And she doesn't quite understand, and maybe he doesn't either, but there is kind of a real push and pull in their dynamic.